Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Daylight is just, well, really here yet. All right, anyway, but probably by the time I'm finished, it will be. I'm starting later than normal because I bundled up walking. It's 37 degrees, and I usually go half a mile, then I come back do a few things. Then after the taste challenge, I'll walk another mile on a day off. But I went and walked a full mile and a half because I was like, I'm not stopping now because then I'll be, putting it off to go back to it. You know what I mean? Just keep delaying. But anyway, here is Las Tonas. And this one is the coyote, the Umbe. Each mezcal they make has an animal name to it. This is the coyote, as it says, Umbe, or and it's the can't say it, Joven, the unaged. Now this is strange, and I'll show you. Like you might see all the sediment floating in here. It's just full of sediment, and it's like they sort of filtered it, and it was clear when I bought it at Total Wine and More. And now, as it's setting in the bottle, it's getting solidified again. It's very strange. Here is the Ojo de Tigre, introduced in 2018. So 2014 for this one, introduced 2014. 2018 for this one. Now this one is an Espadin and Tobala mixed mezcal. It's a blended mezcal. Use two different agaves. Now I don't know if they ferment them and distill them together as a unit, or if they do that separately and blend after. They don't say. It's not aged. They're not. Neither one is aged. Okay, this one is just Espadin, your typical mezcal agave source. But remember, mezcal can use any type of agave, whereas tequila must use blue Weber agave, wooden cap, neoprene stopper. Neoprene is that spongy stuff they use at the bottom of tennis shoe soles from DuPont, produced by DuPont, EI DuPont de Nemours Chemical Company. I'll do the screen share in a moment. I'm going to leave that out. I want to show you all that sediment when I turn the lamp on. This has a flip top. I want to be careful that I don't knock the bottle over. So it's a flip cap, and you got to watch it because it pours really fast. The way the bottle's designed, it doesn't glug and chug-a-lug, and it just flows out. This was $28.99 at Total Wine and More. And this one was the same price when I bought them at time of purchase. Now that they're both clear, more or less. Now that price might have changed. You see, I can't, prices change. Here's the screen share. Now Las Tonas Umbe Young. Now they're saying alcohol by volume 38%, but that's for Mexico. In the United States, it's 40. It would have to be at least 40. The master mezcalero is Juan Hernandez. They don't have a very big photo. It's a tiny photo. He's standing by a small still. Flavor, consistent accents of cooked agave and citrus with woody and mineral flavors. See, they're not talking about any kind of smoke. Ojo de Tigre is like of Tobala and Espadin agave. They're only showing this one. They're not claiming that they make an añejo or a reposado. I did see a video where somebody was showing an añejo, so they might. They don't talk about it. Apparently, this is independent. One of the viewers, Elbow88, said he found that it was owned by Pernod. I went through all of Pernod-Ricard's brands, and they didn't list it, so that's peculiar. Las Tonas is claiming to be independent, but I did see it listed under a big liquor company brands. I can't remember which one. I could find out, but I'd have to go through all of them. But it might just be where they have a collaboration with a big liquor company for distribution and marketing. because a lot of these small places can't really make it on their own without getting hooked on with a big company, you know, like Diageo or Pernod-Ricard or Moet Hennessy, Louis Vuitton, LV Moet Hennessy. I think it's LVMH. They do clothing and expensive apparel and also liquor. Okay. And Bacardi Limited is another big one, but I'm pretty sure they don't own or collaborate with this one. You know, there's also William Grant and Sons. But like, even with them, there's a cognac they own, or French brandy that they own called Reynal, or Three Barrels in England. But if you get on the even if you get on the website for William Grant and Sons, it says that just listed, but on the back of the bottle it says a family-owned distillery in France, Reynal and Company. So it's probably one of those same situations where they made an agreement to come under their umbrella. They might still own their own distillery, but they rely on Grant and Sons to get it out there on the market. So it's kind of like under their control type of situation. Okay. Now, this thing is full of, it looks like, I don't know what it looked like, cotton, like somebody took cotton or lint. Now, in the dryer, you get lint, and it can start a fire if it gets clogged up. This thing is so full of gunk. You could probably see that. Look at that. That's not smudges on the glass. That's the gunk, man. Isn't that something? Now, when I bought this, it was clear, crystalline clear. I wouldn't have bought it with all that gunk. But it's like it's solidifying again with age. It's strange. Not the first time that's happened. I've bought bourbon. Usually it's bourbon. I bought bourbon from Buffalo Trace, a number of them. And at first it'd be clear, that reddish brown appearance, rust red, whatever, copper, I guess bourbon is. But when I'm halfway through the bottle, it'll start showing solids. If you can explain that, I would appreciate it. I'm not a scientist, but it must have something to do with, I don't know. Okay, I can try to guess, but I really don't know. Dr. Frosty Bruce says, cheers, Jay. Dawn Busters. Yep. Come on, Dawn. What's that flower you've got on? All right. I could check Total Wine real quick just to see what it's going for at the moment. Herbie says, good morning. Good morning to you, but I know it's evening time where you are, Herbie. I hear sirens. Oh, yikes. Las Tonas. Now, I got tricked last night. One was smoky, so I thought it was the Trader Joe's. Uh-oh, it was the Ojo de Tigre, and I got it wrong. First failure in this series. Las Tonas is $31.99. And like I said, it was $28. Now, if you get the Serpiente Añejo, the snake, $63.99 on sale right now because it's normally $71.99. If you get the Reposado, the Coyote, Reposado, so there's two Coyotes, the Reposado and the Joven, it's $36.99, and the Jaguar, Young Jaguar, is $36.99. And these are all with Spirits Direct, which some people think means it's a private label for Total Wine. It might be with some of the products, but Las Tonas is just a regular brand that you'll see in other stores. I have actually in quite a few stores, but I didn't buy it. Again, I have it once. I might buy some of the other variants at some future point. Ojo de Tigre. Here we go. 29. Oh, see, it went up $1. It was 28.9. 29.99. Mm-hmm. So $2 difference. Will I be able to tell them apart? I hope so. Now with the aroma. Agave juice. Why does mezcal smell so similar to tequila? Well, common sense. Not common sense. Because if you didn't know it, it wouldn't be common sense. You would have to learn it. Education will teach you that tequila is a type of mezcal. So does tequila smell like mezcal? Yeah, because tequila is mezcal. And mezcal is not all tequila, though, because it would have to be produced with a certain type of agave nectar, and then it would be tequila. So why did they make that rule that it can only use Blue Weber agave? I don't know. I was talking to my father on the phone. I said they probably had some guys in the government whose friends own these huge Blue Weber agave farms, and they were like, "We're going to make sure you're all right," And they made a law. It can only be that kind of agave, and so their pals get the benefit of it. Now, I'm not saying that's true, but we know how some of these things work, and the man that got the tequila industry really rolling, the Jose Cuervo, he was in tight with the government. So, hey. And usually, this is not the law, but or one part of the law is tequila can have mix in it. It can be up to 49% filler, and mezcal cannot. It must be 100% agave, so it's going to be more purified. That's the law part. Now, the tradition is that mezcal is usually roasted in these ovens. It's shaped like a cone, and it's dug into the ground. They cover it with coals, and they let it roast, and it gets very smoky. Whereas tequila is not done that way. It's still roasted, but it doesn't give it that heavy smoky character typically. All right. So that smells like agave juice. And that one smelled like agave juice. So is there any difference in aroma? No. Honestly, there isn't. There's barely any difference in price. And so we're pretty even at this point. So they cut the leaves off. I don't know what they do with those leaves. They probably do something with those spines, those leaves, probably used in some other industry, just like sugarcane stalks are used in another industry. Tastes like agave right there. Then they take the heart, like with avocado, not avocado, artichokes. You know how they take the spines off the leaves, and then they just keep the heart, and you buy the artichoke hearts in a little jar at the store, or you can. I've boiled them. I like to boil artichokes, and then get some butter, melt some butter with Tabasco sauce and lemon juice. Then you pull each leaf off and you dip it. You can pull the meat off with your teeth, and then you get to the heart and you clean it off, and you can cut it and dip it in the butter and melted butter. It's pretty good, full of calories, but probably healthy, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a dietitian. So they get the juice. They roll a big stone, heavy limestone, over the hearts, the pinas, squeeze the juice out. Now they take the juice, they let it ferment. Either wild yeast or some kind of special yeast. And they let it ferment into like a wine, an agave wine, which they could sell as a wine. But then they distill it into a liquor called mezcal. Same principle with whiskey, right? Take grain, make a beer with it, but with no hops, you see. So it would just be sugary sweet. Then you take the beer, the base, then you distill it into a distillate, clear, odorless, colorless, and then you age it in wood, and it gets that flavor. Now, if it's got rye distillate, that's going to give it the rye spice, you see, and wheat will give it different characteristics over the corn. So they all kind of do the same steps. Brandy, make wine from grapes, then you distill the wine, you got brandy. You got it? All right. Smoke, well, perhaps. And I was talking to Claude, and he doesn't like the smokiness. And I was saying, Claude, and he brought a great beer last night. I mean, I guess it was great. He said it was. I was looking at it, and I was thinking, boy, I wish they'd sell their stuff over here, Russian River, but we don't get it. But there's a lot of mezcals, and I'm not just targeting this comment toward Claude, because a lot of viewers might have the same idea that, oh, I wouldn't want to try mezcal because it's too smoky. But I'm saying, no, it can be, and many of them are, but many of them are not. It's like Scotch. You think all Scotch is peaty and smoky, but it isn't. Some is a little bit, and then some is full bore smoke. So you just have to try each one, but I guess there's the risk, because people that don't like the smokiness, they don't want to take the risk. If you gave that to somebody blind, would they think it's tequila? Most likely, especially if they weren't really like into the liquor hobby, because most people think tequila has the worm in it. It's just generally, most people think that, but it's really mezcal. So they taste it, they see the worm, and they go back to work, and they were saying, yeah, we were drinking this tequila last night, had a worm in it. This is what they're going to say. So the crossover is so close. Tequila to mezcal, tequila to mezcal, tequila to mezcal. But it's got to be 100% tequila. If you get a mixto tequila, nah, then the crossover is going to die, because when you add in that up to 49% filler liquor, then it's going to alter the flavor. Usually kind of dull it out. All right, so is there any real big difference? And they both of these have a light to medium body. Let's say low, medium, and a mostly dry finish. So is there a big difference between these two? I would have to say not really, although one is oddly cloudy, which is strange, but otherwise, nah. I'm going to try one more time. I'm telling you, if I can't tell them apart, I'm not just going to take a wild guess, and that's a 50-50 shot, flipping a coin, and then I get it right. I'm like, oh, look, I got it right. I'm such an expert. No. I've done this before where I couldn't tell them apart. I just called it a tie. So I don't know. I'm not going to be deceptive with it. So this one's got no smoke. I'm telling you, no smoke. They don't describe smoke at all on the Las Tonas website. Okay. So let's say this is 99% not smoky, but there might be that 1% little glimmer. It's like, what did I just detect? Like you're not sure, but you're like. So I'm going to say, without any real confidence, that this is the Tigre, Ojo de Tigre, just by virtue of that slight smoke. But that could be a mirage, you see. I could be well fooled. And it's the Las Tonas. So, and I said might have 1%. So I should have called it a tie, but I chose to step into the danger zone. So now I'm down with 2 losses. I don't remember how many wins. I have to go back and look at my records. I still had a winning record. So many wins and 2 losses. I hate that. But actually, a lot of the mezcals coming up aren't really smoky either. The Luminar is not. The Jicaru is definitely not. El Silencio, that's in a black bottle. It's really dark brown, but it looks black. I think that might. So I don't know. It could be a real problem if one should call it a problem. Because, I mean, hey, you try a bunch of mezcals, they all taste about the same. Stands to reason you're going to get them wrong a lot. So, oh well, can't worry about it. So what's the final assessment really as I look at this series in mid-range, midway through the series? I think the final assessment is that they don't really taste that different one from another if you're honest with yourself. And the price is about the same. High 20s, low 30s at this time for these Jovens, young, unaged. So you're looking at high 20s, low $30, 30, you know, $33 at the high end, 28 at the low end. So you may as well just buy what's cheapest. And in this case, that would be Trader Joe's because I bought it for $21.99. The little swords, Espada Pequeña. Well, hey, guess what? I'm going to save the $7 to $10 and just buy the Trader Joe's, assuming you live by a Trader Joe's that sells liquor, which I am about 30 miles away from one, 31 mile, 30 mile. Yeah, might mine only be 28. I haven't calculated it. Yeah, I would just get that one because you're not losing anything, you're not gaining anything, but you're not losing anything. You're gaining $7, $7 to $10. May as well save the money. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. Is this what I expected? Yeah, more or less, I would say so. No surprises. Kind of aggravated, but that is the risk of the blind taste test. And if you're not willing to take the risk, don't do the test. And I know a lot of people aren't willing to take the risk and they won't do the test. They'll talk about a beer. I know my beer. I know. Why don't you do a blind taste test with a comparable product? Let's see if you really know. Oh, well, I'm busy. I don't have time for that. Yeah, I know you don't. Because you may not know it as well as you think. All right. But anyway, thank you very much. And we'll try to fight back with the next one. Bye-bye.